Hello, my name is Mitchell Batten, and I am a trainer with Building Point West. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to use the last instrument setup location feature in your setup tab. The benefits of using this, the goals are to learn the benefits of using the last known setup location. It will save you time day in and day out if used correctly. Can only use in certain situations, so you can't use it every day, all day, because your robot maybe need to move, but if it knows to be in the same spot for days and weeks on end, we might be able to use this feature after we dive into it. Again, it applies to your scenario and your situation on your job site. You have strategic uses, just like I had hit on. It all depends on your scenario and your situation that you are in. When is it safe to use and the best way to use it? Okay, so let's dive into it, guys.
And today I'm going to be showing you how to use the last known setup location. This feature is a very helpful feature for people who are on column clamps and set up over a known point day in and day out. That way, if you break it down the next day, it'll remember where you're set up at. Now, I do caution, make sure your level, your siding, and your truing is all matching on this situation because, you know, everything can have a ton of variables with it, so you want to make sure everything's matching day in and day out when you're using the last known setup. The big positive about this is you don't got to go back and reset up after you do the last known setup location. Okay, so it is very helpful. I spent 6 years in the field, and I probably used it at least 2 or 3 times a week. That way I can save my 30 minutes to an hour setup time. And a good way to go double check yourself after you do use this feature is to go check a point you laid out from the previous day and make sure you're still lining up with it and make sure it's still in the same spot. So that way you have the consistency day in and day out to do this, okay? So what you do is you do it like any other normal setup. You just connect like I did right now. You just go to device and setup. And see, it'll ask you that question down there at the bottom. Use last instrument setup location. Just click yes, and boom, you're ready to set up, okay? I really love this feature. This feature is probably, it's top 5 on my favorite features on TFL and Trimble FieldLink because that way it saves so much time in your setup. You don't got to set up. You can just go, hey, let's go double check a point I laid out earlier. That way, if your control's, 1,000 feet away, you don't got to walk that 1,000 feet. You don't got to drive that 1,000 feet. You don't got to do any of that stuff. It auto remembers it from the previous day. But like I said, you need to have everything to match from the day before. So you set up over a known point where you're using the eyeglass shooting down. You can only do that with the RTSs, not the RPT, by the way. So just look down, make sure you're over that point. If you do that day in, day out, and you use that same point, you are good to go, okay? Also, you can do this, you can use this on the resection when it's on a column clamp, or say you have your tripod dug into an area to where you keep it there overnight. And sometimes I know surveyors and I know layout guys who do that. So it's very helpful. That way you can just leave it there and you know that robot didn't move or anything. Just make sure your level and everything is the same, okay, guys? So if you have any more questions, please call me, please email me, contact your local Building Point rep, and we will help you out. Thanks, guys.
So the goals I hopefully accomplished are we learned the strategic benefits of using this option and being able to keep it in the same spot all day. Remember, your leveling has to match up from the previous. Your leveling has to match up from the first time you set up with it. It has to be over that point if you're using a known point location, and also the robot cannot have moved if you did a 3-point resection or you did any kind of resection. If done right, it will save you a lot of setup time daily and throughout the day, and the best practice use for it. So hopefully we learned all that and we hit on all the subjects you wanted to know about. So if you have any more questions, contact your local Building Point rep.